Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sam, and this is my TBR game. If you're not new here, it's gonna look a little different this month. I had an idea, and then I spent like a week thinking about it, and then I ran with it. So this month is going to look different for the TBR game. But I think it's gonna be kind of fun. I don't really know, I mean this could completely flop, and I'm sure there's a million better ways that I could be doing this. And I am positive that y'all will let me know all of your ideas that I can try next year. But it's fine. It's fine. So I wanted to do something festive since it is December. I really wanted to do like the whole Vlogmas thing. Not gonna happen. There's just no way. We have just moved into our new house. So library tour coming soon because I finally have a dedicated room for my books and I am stoked. But the day that we moved, I came down with the flu, and then a day later my husband came down with the flu, and so it has been kind of a nightmare moving in, honestly. It has been slow going and chaotic. So I almost didn't film this today, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to get a TBR game done this month at all. But I'm pretty determined, and I spent a good amount of time prepping for this morning, so we're committed now. So let's jump right into November. I am not going to hold up the books this month because quite a few of them are already in use for my idea for this month. So I can't really hold them up at the moment. But November was not a great reading month. I actually think I only read 2 books. Both of them were on my TBR, so there is that. I know that I read The Hero of Ages. Absolutely loved it. Almost cried at the end. Did not see that ending coming. Every single thing that I could have possibly thought about where that book was headed, I was so wrong. And I'm still thinking about it. I actually didn't finish it all that long ago. It took me like a good 2.5 weeks to read it because I read it so slowly. And I'm really glad that I did, honestly. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I don't remember what the other book that I read was. Ooh, I read Along for the Ride. I listened to that as an audiobook. Did I read a 3rd book this month? I truly don't know. I might do a wrap-up, I might not, I might just talk about it in another video. Who knows at this point? It's just pure chaos over here right now. But November sucked, but we're just gonna ignore it. We're not taking punishments because I couldn't figure out a way to do that with the changes for this month's game and the festive things. So, you know, I get a freebie month. It's fine. So let's talk about what we are changing this month. I don't know if y'all have seen like the book advent calendars that people seem to be doing. I really wanted to do one, but I couldn't figure out how to make it work because I didn't have anybody to buy me a bunch of books. So I started thinking about different ways that I can incorporate some type of advent calendar type of thing into my TBR game. Quickly realized that the whole advent calendar part of that would be kind of impossible. So what I did, I wrapped a bunch of books, basically my whole TBR. And those are the books that we're going to use for this TBR game, but obviously I don't know what they are. So instead of using prompts, we have a little jar of cutouts of 3 different colors of wrapping paper. Oops. And I have 3 different categories of books. So all the white ones are fantasy, and then these gold ones are romance, and then I have this black paper that's basically miscellaneous. We've got a couple thrillers. I think we have a horror in here. We do have like some middle grade. I think one of the middle grades is actually a fantasy, but like it was middle grade, so I threw it with the middle grades. So I have like a good amount of each of those. I think I have like 21 books total, so hopefully the game does not give me more than that because I don't actually have more than that on my TBR right now. If we end up with more rolls than that, we will cross that bridge if and when we get there. Knowing us, we probably will. We probably will. So that being said, we're not going to do hard prompts this month because I couldn't think of an easy way to incorporate that into this. We are still going to do challenge prompts because all of those are like game based, not prompt based. So that should be fine. We don't need the TBR treats. All of these are books that I haven't read. They're all books that I had on my TBR and I just wrapped them all up. I mean, y'all know me. I have the memory of a goldfish. There's no way for me to pick this and be like, ooh, I know the one on top is this. I don't even remember half the books that are in this pile, let alone what's on top. So it will be completely random and it will be fine. I hope. So let's set up the board. It's going to be really quick this time because we only have 1 color to set up. Actually, I take that back. We are also going to do the free picks, but the free picks are literally just going to be I can pick any of the wrapped books. That's what we're going to do. Alright, let's set up the board. Okay, so we need the iPad, which I probably should have set up beforehand, but y'all know me by now, and I think we all know that that wasn't going to happen. Oh, also, I found my D8 die, so we've got that again. I also recently learned that the other one I used last month was a D10, and the 0 was supposed to be a 10, so... well, my bad. Okay, so we're going to start with the challenge prompts. And I'm just going to use the D8 this time, because you know what? Why not? 5. Okay, so we get 5 challenge prompts. Okay, so we're good there. And then we can do some free spots. I'm not going to put multiple dots on this month. I think that'll make this a little bit too complicated, and I don't want to end up with too many books because I really don't have that many. Like, I've only got 20 to pick from. 3. Okay, this board looks kind of sad this month since there's not a lot of spots on it. Alright, so the board is set up. I have my stacks of books here. Let me get my life together over here, although I can see these. We need to figure that out. I don't want to be able to see them. Maybe I should like fold them all in half. Hold on. Okay, so folding them in half didn't work. I can see them because of the camera that's above it, so I'm just gonna like close my eyes whenever I have to pick one of these. That's what we'll do, and it'll be fine. And wow, it just got very dark outside. Alright, we're just gonna give up. Okay, so let's jump right into the first roll and see how chaotic this is gonna be. Actually, let me pull the books closer to myself so I can actually like reach them. So because I did it kind of by genre, we do have like a different amount of each stack. We only have 5 romance, which is definitely our smallest category. So I only put 5 things in there. So we've got some romance here. Fantasy is by far the biggest stack. I'm probably not going to lift these up, but they are this high. And then the miscellaneous stack. I think there's like 7 or 8 of those. So we have a lot of books. Let's jump into roll number 1. Okay, here we go. 2. Alright, so I'm not looking. A miscellaneous book. Okay. Okay, so we got a miscellaneous. You are going to see some repeats on this list, because I didn't read most of my November TBR, so a lot of those are still on my full TBR. We do have a lot of new books here, though, so some repeats, but also some non-repeats. Alright, so we're just going to grab the first one off the top of the miscellaneous pile. I don't want to guess what it is. Should we open them all at the end, or should I open them as I go? I think I should open them as I go. That's what I'm thinking. So that way it's like I'm committed. I don't know, that made more sense in my head, but we're just going to open it as we go. I feel like this feels like Christmas, and it makes me really happy. And this could be anything, because it's miscellaneous. It could be middle grade, it could be thriller, it could be, I think there's 1 horror in there. There's a dystopian. I don't know, but I'm really curious, but a lot of these I was really excited about. Oh, okay, okay, this is a good first pick. I am excited about this one. So this is technically a reread for me, but I haven't read it in so many years. I really, really, really want to reread it, and I'm pretty sure it's a Netflix show now. So this is The Mysterious Benedict Society, and this is by Trenton Lee Stewart. And I read this back in 6th grade and absolutely adored it. I own it as an ebook, but I've never owned a physical copy. So I saw it at Barnes & Noble, and it was buy one, get one 50% off. So I did. And basically, this follows 4 children. Actually follows kind of a lot of children, but 4 main children. So there's this competition for gifted children where they are put through a series of tests, and only 4 come out at the end to like be sent on this mission type of thing. It's so cool. It's a series. I really, really, really enjoyed this. It's so much fun. And the TV show looked really cool. I saw an ad for it, and it looked really cool. So I kind of want to reread the series and then watch the TV show. But it's on Disney Plus, which I don't have, but I might have to get just to watch the show. So that is a great first pick. And it's a middle grade. So like it's kind of long, but it's a middle grade. So hopefully it'll be a little bit of a quick read because I have some catching up to do in December if I am going to make my full reading goal. I'm a little behind. All right, roll number 2. Okay, not off to a bad start. 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, still not looking. Ooh, a fantasy. Yes. Okay, so here is the fantasy stack. I kind of regret picking this up. Do I want to pick off the top or do I want to like pick something random? I don't know. I don't know what I should do. Maybe we'll grab one like out of the middle. That one feels really thick though. I'm a little afraid to commit to a thick one. But it's also the beginning. Like it could go better from here. Let's do it. Let's go with the whatever this really heavy one is. Oops. They all just fell. My bad. Okay, so this one's kind of heavy and I kind of think now that I've picked it up I actually remember what I did here. But I think this is still going to work out. So, pick number 2 is actually technically more than one book. Yeah, I know what I did here. Okay, so this is the first 6 books. This is the first 6 books in the Monstrous series, which is a graphic novel fantasy series for adults. I absolutely loved it. I mean, I was super confused by it. I really have no idea what's going on, but I thought it was so interesting in the first 2 books that I read. And I finally got the 3rd one. I had the 4th one. So I went ahead and got 5 and 6, and I wrapped them all up as one because they're short. So I feel like I need to reread the first 2 because I was lost and I don't remember most of it now. But I also kind of want to read them all, so we're just going to binge it and count it as 1 book for the TBR game, but 6 books for Goodreads. So it's a good thing I picked this one because I need to catch up on my Goodreads goal, like, really badly. So technically we have 7 books on our TBR right now, but like, graphic novels. I always struggle if graphic novels should count or if it feels like cheating. But I'm going to roll with it this month because I need it. Okay, so far, not too scary. Let's jump into roll number 3. Okay. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We may not hit any challenge prompts or free picks or anything but these the whole time. Wow, that's so convenient that I picked 1 of each. This one's a romance prompt. Okay. Alright. The romance pile. Which one do I pick? I'm going to stick with going right out of the middle. I just think that sounds kind of fun. I don't know why, but that's what we're going to do. This wrapping paper is really thick and kind of hard to tear, actually. I don't want to rip the book either because these are all paperbacks in the romance section. Okay, I'm not super excited about this one, but it's okay. Okay, so this is The Worst Best Man by Mia Sosa. This has been on my TBR a couple of times, and I have not gotten to it yet. But I do need to, so it's fine. So basically, this follows our main character, Carolina, and she is a wedding planner who is actually a jilted bride. She was left at the altar by her fiance at her own wedding years ago, and now she's planning this wedding, and she has to work with the best man from her failed wedding, and it's like an enemies to lovers type of thing from there. I don't know why I'm not excited about it, because like, it's enemies to lovers, it's a rom-com. I feel like me and rom-coms, I generally am never really excited about the plots of them until I get into it, and then I end up liking it, but it's never something that I'm like, ooh, I really want to read that. I've felt that way about like almost every rom-com I've ever read. Like, the plot does not interest me as a blurb, but once I actually get into it, I'm into it, you know? I don't know. So I think it's time. I think it's time that we finally pick this one up. Alright, roll number 4. 5. And it's another romance. Okay. Okay, so picking from the middle really didn't do me any favor, so I'm gonna go with one off the end. Let's see. I have to, like, be careful with this wrapping paper. It's so thick, it's, like, impossible to tear the actual wrapping paper, so if I don't go at it from the tape, I'm gonna, like, actually tear the book. It's just from Walmart. It's not, like, expensive wrapping paper. Okay, this one's a repeat. This one was on my TBR last month as well, and that is Perfect Chemistry by Simone Elkeles. Wow. I don't know why I was so bad at saying that. Y'all heard me talk about this book last month, but basically we have, like, a gang member and, like, a perfect straight A student, and they are, I think she's, like, a cheerleader, and they're paired up in chemistry class. Sparks fly from there, I guess. Yeah. I'm interested. I'm nervous. I'm still interested. I did find out, last month I wasn't sure if it was a series or if their story ends with this book. I did find out, like, both. So their story ends with this book, but it also is a series with other characters. I tend to like romances like that, so we'll see. We'll see. I do need to get to this one. Alright, next roll. 3. Ooh, we're gonna hit a challenge prompt. Alright, that's a little bit scary. Okay, so we've had a challenge prompt, and not gonna lie, I don't remember what all of my challenge prompts are, so I'm not really sure how all of these are going to fit with the game. I'm pretty sure that any of these could work, but I'm not, like, positive. So let's go with this one. Go back to the last challenge spot. Alright, well, that's not putting us very far, so that's fine. And then we do need to pick a prompt, so. Another fantasy. Which ones feel less scary? I don't know, let's go with this one. This one doesn't feel very long, like it's definitely pretty short. I know what this one is. I don't know if I'm excited or terrified. Okay, so I have been wanting to read this for a while. However, I've also heard that if you don't already know things about this, the book can be complicated. It's a TV show. It's also a video game. I know nothing about either one of those things. But I saw this really pretty edition of The Witcher at Barnes & Noble, so we're gonna give it a shot. This one's illustrated, and I thought that looked really cool. I don't know what it's about. I don't know if this is where you're supposed to start. This is The Last Wish, which I think is book 1, or maybe the prequel. I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is where you're supposed to start, though. So literally the only thing I know about this is that there's a lot of upset people because the main actor of the TV show is changing. That's it. That's all I know. This will be fun. But it doesn't look very long. I like that it is illustrated. Like, that's super cool. I feel like it's more short stories. Maybe not. It's definitely interesting. I do, like, it's in parts, so I feel like somebody told me that once, that it's like multiple stories in one. I don't know. We're gonna find out. Alright, let's keep going. 3. Another romance. We're gonna hit all of the romance books. Okay, we're gonna go with this one. Alright, another romance book for the month. That's gonna be 3 romance books. And I'm not mad about that one. And I think I know which one this one is because I didn't wrap it properly on the bottom. But I didn't notice that until after I picked it up. So, it's not cheating. Oh, I don't know how I feel about this. Oh, I mean, I was kind of hoping I was going to get this one, but also like, Okay, so y'all remember when I read my first Penelope Douglas book. and I read Bully. And I kept saying, my like, full review wrapped up in a sentence for that book was, I hated it, but I was also attracted to it. So I got the next one, the like 1.5, that's from his point of view. Because I have no self-control. So this is book 1.5 of the Follow-Away series, and the first book followed our main character, and I don't remember her name, but she was like ruthlessly bullied by her former best friend, and she ended up like leaving for a year, like to like study abroad, just to get away from him. But then she comes back and he's still bullying her, but she decides to fight back, and things kind of change a little bit from there. This is the same thing, but from his point of view, and I am nervous, but very excited. I feel like I might like this one better than the other one. I struggle with bully romances, like most of y'all know that by now. I struggle with the forgiving part, the not hating him permanently part. This might change my mind. It might. We'll see. I don't know if I can read this in public though with this cover. Alright, let's keep going. 6. 28. We are almost done, actually. They're stuck. Okay. A fantasy. I can do that. This one feels fancy. I don't know why, but it does. I feel like I'm trying to look through the wrapping paper, and that probably is cheating. So we're just gonna, I've committed now. And you know I've committed because I'm not rewrapping all these books to pretend I didn't film this again. Like that, no, absolutely not. I hated wrapping these books. I hate wrapping things. I'm not very good at it. And I don't ever want to do it again. Okay. I'm cool with this one. This is Thistlefoot. This was also on my TBR last month. I did not get to it, but it is a Baba Yaga retelling. I don't know the original Baba Yaga story, but I'm intrigued. So basically we have a house with chicken legs and some kids, I think. But it is an adult fantasy, I think, from my understanding. So we'll give it a shot. And the TBR's not looking too scary so far. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books plus the 6 graphic novels. So like the equivalent of like 7 books. Not bad. And this is probably going to be our last roll. 4. Yes, it will be. Okay, so end spot. So the only way that I can really think to do this is to just do it like normal, but if it hits TBR tree or hard prompt, we just spin again. Challenge prompt! Oh boy. Okay, well we can't actually do this one because we're at the end, so we'll just pick a different one. That's what we'll do. And it'll be okay. Everything will be fine. Or it won't be, you know. There's always that option too. You know, I should have seen this coming. I feel like at this point it's not even like a surprise when this happens. And I promise, I don't plan this. I don't. But we're going back to the beginning, and we've only got the equivalent of 7 books. So I'm not mad about it yet. I'm not mad about it yet. I do need to read more than 7 books this month if I'm going to meet my goal. So this is honestly probably just an omen. I am going to take this out though. We do have, I've had like multiple people suggest that I only like start over one time. So we're going to take this one out just in case we get another challenge prompt. That will not be the challenge prompt. It also means that since we are going back to the beginning now, we are not going to hit the start over. That one will also be void because we only start over once. But we keep the 7 books we have. If it's a challenge prompt, we get rid of them all. If it's the end spot, start over. But this was a challenge prompt, so. Alright, let's go back. I'm not mad because I kind of want more than 7 or 8 books, which I actually need to pick another book for that before I forget. Okay, I do need to pick a book for that end spot. I feel like romance. I'm gonna read all of my romance books this month apparently, which is good. I need to do that anyway. There are 2 left, so we're just gonna grab the one off the top. I really, really like this wrapping paper. Like, it's really pretty, and it just feels so quality, but it is really hard to open. Ooh, okay. I have heard great things about this book, and I loved her other book. So, okay. I can't feel my legs at this point. Sitting on the floor. It's getting dark again, but it's fine. Okay, so this is Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. This is the same author that wrote The Love Hypothesis, which I absolutely loved, so I am excited to read another one. I don't know what it's about. I'm assuming it's another academic-y type of thing. I don't know if he's supposed to be based off the same person that the first guy is based off of in the first book. Kind of hope not, because I'm not a huge fan of Adam Driver. But it's fine. We'll see. We're gonna give it a shot. Okay, so we're back at the beginning. I'm not mad about it. It's gonna be fine. 8. That puts us at a pretty good start. And our last romance book. Okay, so this is it for romance. This is the last one I got. And you would think that that would mean I would know what book this is. No. I have absolutely no idea, actually. I don't remember what the other book that I have is at all. I am strongly considering wrapping every present that I buy for anybody this year in this wrapping paper, though, because I really like it. Oh, okay, this is another repeat. So this is another book that I was supposed to read last month and absolutely did not read. But this is The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker, and I really need to read it. And it is a series, so I'm gonna need to get the next 2 books as well. Maybe I'll read all 3 this month. Honestly, it's gonna go one of 2 ways. I'm either not even gonna pick it up, or I'm gonna read all 3. I feel like there's not gonna be any in between there. But basically, this follows our main character, Kala. And she lived with her mom, and she and her mom, like, fled Alaska away from her dad when her parents got divorced, and now, like, her dad's gotten some bad news about, like, his health, so she's going up to see him and try to kind of, like, rekindle their relationship before it's too late, and while there, she meets a pilot from her dad's charter plane company, Jonah, and I guess things spin off from there, except that she has no desire to live in Alaska and he will never leave Alaska, so conflict. That's my understanding, and I know their story does not end in book 1, so I am not expecting a happy ending at the end of this book. I feel like I'm gonna have to wait till book 3 for that. So, like I said, I'm either not gonna pick it up at all, or I'm gonna end up reading all 3. For sure. Or I could hate it. Like, there's always that too. That is also an option. I could get, like, halfway through that book and just completely DNF it. Alright, we're out of romance books, so it is either fantasy or miscellaneous. We've only had 1 miscellaneous book so far. Apparently, I promise I shook those up. Alright, that's a 1. We're not moving very quickly through this second round. And a miscellaneous. Ooh, Cold Air. Where is Cold Air coming from? I have the heat on. I don't know where the cold air is coming from, but it suddenly got very cold. Alright, so miscellaneous. Let's just... Here's the miscellaneous stack. Should we grab from the top or the bottom or somewhere in the middle? I don't know. I feel like maybe second from the top. Let's see how that goes. Okay, I've had this book for a long time, like a long time. I have no idea where I got it. I don't know why I have it, but I have had it for a very long time, and that is Starflight. So basically, this book follows our main character, Solara, I think, and she is like a criminal on Earth, and she is trying to barter her way for passage to another realm, basically. And in order to do that, she has to indenture herself, and she ends up having to indenture herself to like the high school quarterback that used to be her bully back in high school. So that's interesting. But once they get going, said high school quarterback is like framed for conspiracy, and so now they both have a price on their heads, and so he ends up having to disguise himself as like her servant, and the whole thing kind of starts flipping upside down, and we're in outer space. That's my understanding of the book. I don't know why I haven't picked it up. I know it's a series. I don't know why it's been sitting on my shelf for so long and why I've never picked it up, because I keep saying I want to read more sci-fi, and there's been a perfectly good one sitting right here forever. So this should be the month. This should be the month, at the end of 2022, that I finally pick up this book that I've had for at least 2 years. All right. 8. All right, we're not doing too bad. We are moving along. Fantasy. Okay. Fantasy. I know this one's a hardback because I can feel it. And I just like hardback, so we're going to go with this one. Ooh, okay. This one I'm intrigued by. Okay, so this is Ledge by Stacey McEwen, and I am very intrigued by this. So basically we have like this civilization on like a glacier, I think. Like, yeah, like they basically live on like a ledge. And so like there's a sheer drop on one side, it's all ice, and there's nowhere for them to go. And I think every year, maybe? Every season, the people have to present themselves as like a sacrifice to the Glacian things. Monsters? Mysterious winged creatures. So Dawson is our main character, and she has so far managed to avoid being the sacrifice until this season, but she runs into, I think, Ryan, and he offers her a way to escape, but he is half Glacian creature and half human, so she's a little bit nervous to trust someone who's half of the creatures that are trying to take her away. I'm intrigued. I'm getting Illyrian. I'm getting fantasy romance. I'm hoping that it's like new adult. I don't know. But we're gonna give it a shot because I am excited. Alright, next roll. 7. Challenge prompt. Oh boy. Choose 2 books for the same prompt. Okay, we can do that one because we'll just pick 2 books. And it's going to be miscellaneous. Alright, so we need 2 miscellaneous books. Oops, I just put a hole in one. So here's our stack left. Well, I put a hole in that one, so I feel like now we should open it. So I guess we'll go with whatever this one is, and let's go with the one on top because it feels small. Okay, so we'll go with the one on top first. No, I don't wish I remembered what any of these are. I think it makes it more fun that I mean, it's almost like opening gifts. Like, I truly don't remember what most of these books are, and I think it's kind of fun. What is this? Oh, okay, so you remember how I said the Mysterious Benedict Society was buy one, get one 50% off? This was another book on that table that I was like, okay, well, if I'm getting one 50% off, might as well. And that is Howl's Moving Castle, which I've heard a lot of things about. Have never read it. Not gonna lie, I don't know what it's about. I've just heard about it a lot. But I guess we have Sophie, and she's the eldest of 3 daughters. and she attracts the ire of the Witch of the Waste, and she's under a spell that turns her into an old lady, and she has to break it by going to the wizard Howl's castle. And there's a fire demon. And I'm intrigued. I'm kind of getting like no. What's that book with the moon and the witch? The one that I read recently. The moon one. The moon book. What's the moon book? I know what book I'm talking about. I don't think I own it though, do I? Yes, I do. But where is it? I haven't seen it in a while. The Girl Who Drank the Moon. I'm getting those vibes. Kind of like whimsical fantasy. And I really liked that one, so I'm kind of excited about this one. The stack is getting a little bit larger, but I'm still not mad about it because I need to catch up, like, really badly. I also have not talked this much in like a week because I've been sick, so my throat hurts now. Okay, second book for the same prompt. I really hesitated as to whether to even put this in the pile. And now I kind of regret it. So, this is Poster Girl by Veronica Roth. If you've been watching my channel for a while, y'all know how I feel about Veronica Roth. Allegiant was dumb. I've never actually read Allegiant, but I no longer trust this author and kind of vowed never to read anything by her again. However, this came in my Fairy Loot box, so I'm stuck with it. So I told myself I was going to try it. And I don't want to, but like I kind of do, but I don't. So we'll see. We'll see. This is another dystopian. It actually sounds pretty similar to Divergent. But we have Sonia, and she lives in like the Seattle, Portland metropolis. Or I guess under it. And they have like constant surveillance in the form of the Insight. Oh, there's an ocular implant that tracks everything and rewards or punishes people. So, very typical dystopian. But then there was a revolution, the delegation fell. There's a prison. Okay, so Sonia was a former poster girl for the delegation and has been in prison for 10 years when an old enemy comes with her to make a deal, find a missing girl who was stolen from her parents by the old regime, and earn her freedom. Okay, so it's kind of like the opposite. Well, it's kind of like a different point of view of a dystopian. Like, what happens after the rebellion to the people who were like a part of the dystopian part of the dystopian, I guess. I don't know. I'm intrigued a little bit. I'm still very nervous. I don't know if it's a standalone or if it's a series or going to be a series. I don't know if I trust this author, but I didn't get any hints of romance yet, so maybe I can trust her on this one. We'll see, but I'm not gonna be afraid to DNF this one if it's not going the way I want it to. All right, hopefully we finish this game soon because we're not really running out of books. 6. Wow, that was so close to being the last roll, and then it wasn't. Fantasy. Alright. Fantasy stack. Sure, let's go with the one on the bottom. This one feels like short. It's definitely a hardback, but it feels short. What kind of short fantasy book did I buy? I thought I only had tall fantasy books left. Oh, okay, I've had this one for a little bit too. I don't remember where I got it or when, but I mean, I don't think it's been that long because I don't think it's been published for all that long. Okay, so this is The Last Legacy, and this is by Adrienne Young, who's the same author that wrote Fable, which is why I picked it up, because I did like Fable. So basically, we have our main character, Bryn, and she gets a letter on her 18th birthday from her uncle inviting her to Bastion, And I guess it's like she has to prove herself. I guess it's like influential family. She has to like earn her place in this family. I'm almost getting like gang vibes, like not like modern day gang, like Thomas Shelby. What's that show? Peaky Blinders. That's the vibe I'm getting. And I don't know, it said something about forbidden romance, so you sold me. Okay, one more roll. I don't know why I bothered to roll, because we can't go anywhere from there. So, our end spot again. So we can't use start over, TBR treat, or hard prompt, but there are 3 other things it could be. Okay, well, we can't use that one, so challenge prompt. Okay. Okay. Well, actually, that's not too bad. It's not super far back. We're only going back to 24. And I'm going to take this out so we don't end up in like a cycle of going back repeatedly, because eventually we do need to end this game. So that's fine. So we need another one of these. Fantasy. Okay, we are going to go with this one. This one is a tall hardback for sure. And I don't know, I could not even wager a guess as to what it could be. Oh, okay. This one is the one that I was like, is this really fantasy? But it came in a fairy loot box, so like those are generally fantasy, so I stuck it with the fantasies, but I'm not really sure. This was also on my TBR last month, and that is Spells for Forgetting, also by Adrienne Young. Fun. Okay, cool. So I guess this one's like, we follow Emery. She was accused of murdering her best friend. So, like, her whole life falls apart, and it's 14 years later, she comes back to, like, bury her mother, and no. She was not accused of murdering her best friend. Her boyfriend was accused of murdering her best friend, so both of their lives fell apart. Gotcha. So, somehow... Okay, so my camera battery died, and I've also realized that I have to leave in 10 minutes, so we need to, like, get rolling. So... Spells for Forgetting. That's the next book on our list. I think it's adult. And I'm not really sure on the fantasy part, but I guess we'll find out together. Okay, next roll. A 1. This is not helping me leave in 10 minutes. Another fantasy. I don't have that many more. Sure, let's go with this one. This one feels kind of thick. That's probably a bad idea, but it's fine. Oh gosh, I forgot this one was in this pile. I can't believe. Oh, I'm really glad we got this one, because I was gonna read this whether it was on the list or not. That is A Light in the Flame. This is the second book in the Shadow and the Ember series, which is like the companion prequel series to Blood and Ash. And y'all know how I feel about this. I will be annotating it, and I am extremely excited. And this was going on the list whether I pulled it out of that pile or not, so I'm really glad that I did. Okay. Hopefully this is the last roll, please. Ah! So close! We actually are going to be really close to running out of books. Another fantasy. Okay, we've got 2 fantasies left. And now that we have 2 left, do I go with the short and stocky one or the tall and skinny one? Tall and skinny it is. Ooh, okay. This one's a little scary. This is Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. I do want to read more Brandon Sanderson, like I do. I really, really, really liked Mistborn, so we're gonna give this one a shot. I actually have started this one before and I DNF'd it, but I think now that I've read Mistborn, I could get through this. I remember that we had like this prince, and he was like, he got sick or something, and he's like thrown into the city of Elantris where like all the sick people are, and they're all like, I don't know, there's weird things happening from there. And then there's also the person that he's supposed to marry, like an arranged marriage, is told that he's dead, so then like we've got her point of view, and then there's a bunch of random things happening there. And I feel like this is also part of the universe that Mistborn's in. The Cosmere, is that what it's called? So, I don't know, I might, like, look into how that all works. Because I don't know. Okay, last roll. Last roll for sure. Let's go. Okay, end spot. Please just give me something simple. Ugh. A challenge prompt. 2 books for the same prompt. Okay. At least it is the last roll. Except that I picked fantasy and I only have 1 fantasy book left. So, I guess I'll pick a fantasy, my last fantasy, and I'll pick one of these. I guess that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so this one, again, I'm pretty sure it's a fantasy, but it also gives me like sci-fi vibes, mostly because it feels apocalyptic. And that is The Fifth Season. This is by N.K. Jemisin, and it's like the world is ending, and then a murdered son, a missing daughter, and I guess this woman's like crossing this wasteland to find her daughter. So it feels kind of sci-fi dystopian apocalyptic to me, but I'm pretty sure it's set in a fantasy world. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, now we have to pick one more book, and if we're being quite honest, I'm probably going to try to read both of these books anyways, because I really need to read a lot of books this month. And I know what this one is, because it's the only big miscellaneous book that I had. So I'm thinking we should go with this one because I don't know what it is, so it makes it more interesting for me. Okay, I remember this one now. This one was also on my TBR for last month, and that is Hairpin Bridge. It's a thriller. It's by Taylor Adams. We have a girl and her sister jumped off a bridge, or like allegedly jumped off a bridge, but she doesn't believe that, so she goes to said bridge to kind of like investigate her sister's death. And it goes from there. I was supposed to read it last month. I didn't. We're gonna shoot for December. Alright, and I need to leave. So, let me attempt to show you all this stack of books. I'm not gonna pick it up. I don't hate myself that much. But I am sitting down. I am 5'5.5", if anybody was wondering. And this is how tall it is. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, plus the 6 monstrous books. So like a lot of books. Like a lot of books. Plus this one. And honestly, let's just go ahead and open it. Just for y'all. And because I'm going to need to take it out of the wrapping paper at some point anyway. So the last book that is on this list is a horror. And I got it because I found it on like a list of books for like, if you liked Fairy Tale by Stephen King, you might like this book. And it's not fantasy, so I mean, sure. But this is Imaginary Friend. I don't remember what it's about though. So we've got a single mother on the run. She's determined to improve life for herself and her son. So she flees an abusive relationship in the middle of the night, and they end up in Pennsylvania, in like this really small town, and it seems like the perfect place, but then her son disappears, and then he comes back unharmed, but like changed. He's got a voice in his head that only he can hear, so he's got like an imaginary friend. And interestingly enough, it's by the same author who wrote The Perks of Being a Wallflower, which seems like a very, very, very different direction. But I'm intrigued. I'm not going to put this on stack because it's not technically part of the TBR pile, but I'm kind of hoping to get to this one this month too, because like I said, we need to catch up. But that is the TBR game for this month. Thank you for watching. I have some very exciting things coming up, and I really wish that I could talk to you about them, but I have to leave. So stay tuned for another video, maybe more videos than usual. Probably not as many as I was hoping, but we're gonna try. See y'all in the next video. Bye.